Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to continue the chapter, that is class 8th, force and pressure. In the last class we have discussed about force and the effects of force on the object and types of force. So let us recall what we have studied. We have studied about force and effects of force. What happens when the force is applied on the object? When the force is applied on the object, it have the capacity, it changes the direction of motion, it changes the state of motion. If the object is at rest, it will bring it to the motion, and if the object is in motion, it have the capacity to bring it to the rest position, and it have the ability, it will change the force, will change the shape of an object, and it changes the direction of motion. So based on their property, we can classify them into two types. They are contact force and non-contact force. So what is contact force? In the contact force, there is connection, there is contact between two objects. Whenever force has to apply on the object, there should be two objects. So in contact force, what happens? There is contact between those two objects. Example is frictional force and muscular force. So what is this frictional force? Whenever you roll the ball, after some time it will come to the rest position. So the reason is there is frictional force, that the frictional force becomes more, so that is why it comes to the rest position, and also this always opposes the motion, that is why object comes to the rest. The next one is non-contact force. So what is non-contact force? In the non-contact force, there is also two objects. There is two objects. The force is applied on the object, between two objects. So what happens if we take the gravitational force? There is no contact between the gravitational force, if I take the example of if the ball is thrown up, there is no connection between ball and the ground, but still there is gravitational force. Without contact also force can be applied on the object. One more thing, magnetic force. What is this magnetic force? Whenever you bring closer to magnets, there is, without touching, without contact also, there is attraction or repulsion between the magnets. And one more, electrostatic force. What happens in electrostatic force? What comes to your mind? Yeah, lightning is an example for the electrostatic force. What happens? In the clouds there are some charged particles. So whenever lightning occurs, without this charged particles which are in the cloud will come in contact with the charged particles present on the ground. So there is electrostatic force is applied between electrostatic force is acted between these two objects. So these are the things, these are the examples for the force. Okay, we have summarized all, we have covered all the topics in force. Now let us discuss in today's class about pressure. What is pressure? Is there any connection between force and pressure? Or what is the difference between force and pressure? Now let us discuss in today's class. Okay, I will give an example. You might have studied about this cyclones and strong wind. Okay, how does it occurs? What is the cause for these cyclone and storm? So what happens if the breeze comes, if there is heavy breeze, it have the ability to blow away the roof. So the strong force is applied on the roof. so it have the ability to blow away this roof. So there is a pressure exerted on the roof. That is why it will blow away with the wind. So and also you have studied about what is how this cyclone occurs. How what is the reason for this cyclone or the strong wind, strong storm. So the reason is whenever there is difference in air pressure, that causes the cyclone, that causes the storm. So that is the reason. So is there any connection, is there any relationship between force and pressure? Now let us discuss. I will take few examples, okay? The first example I will take one nail. Okay? I have one nail, okay? Can you see? Okay, I have one nail. How do you insert the nail on the wall? You will insert, if you insert the nail, if you push the nail using its head, what happens? Does it enter? Does it pass through this paper? No. So if I use this pointed end and if I push this inside the paper, what happens? If I insert using this end, what happens is it pass through this paper. So it pass through this paper. So if I try to push using the head, it will not pass through this paper, and if I push using this pointed end, it will pass through the paper. It will pass through the surface, isn't it? Yes. I will take few example to understand what is pressure. Example, which example I took? Example, I took the first example, nail. So what happens? Force is applied. Yes, isn't it? Yes. So in order to insert this nail on the wall, I applied the force. Force applied. Yes. So I will put tick mark. Yes. Okay. I pushed this nail. And then in which direction force is applied? The surface is like this. Okay. Surface is like this, and I holded the nail perpendicular to it. Direction is perpendicular. Okay, the force applied in perpendicular direction. And if I want one more example, I will take. I have the knife. Okay, which side you will prefer to cut the vegetables or fruits? You will prefer always the sharp edge. You will prefer the sharp edge of the knife. So you if the knife is blunt, it is difficult to cut the vegetables or fruit. It is difficult. We don't prefer the blunt knife. So in what happens in the blunt side of the knife, what happens? The surface area is thicker. In the sharp edge, the surface area is, you can see the surface area is very sharp. It's very narrow. So because of this surface area is narrow, you are able to cut. And how do you cut? The vegetable is like this, and you will apply perpendicular to the surface. You will apply the force, you will apply the pressure, you will apply the pressure in perpendicular direction of the onion, isn't it, to cut. So here also using the knife, the force is applied in which direction? Perpendicular. And how do you carry your bag? Which type of bag you prefer? The bag which having the thin strip or the bag having the little wider strip? So whenever you hold the bag using the thin strap, it's difficult. You feel heavy pressure. You feel it is very heavy. So instead of that, the bag, if the bag having two straps, okay, it is easy. You feel very lightweight. Okay, So here also you will push. So here also force is applied to lift this bag. Here also you will apply the force, but this you feel comfortable, this you feel very heavy. So what is the reason? As the surface area, this is nothing but surface area increases, surface area increases, the pressure decreases. Here the surface area is large compared to this side. So as the surface area increases, the pressure becomes less. You will feel lighter. Pressure becomes less. You feel lightweight. And if you hold like this, you feel it is heavy because the surface area is very narrow. That is why. So the bag have always the wide strap. So we hold using the wide strap of the bag. Bag strap, okay, force is applied, you will lift, okay, lifting is the force applied, and in which direction? Same, perpendicular direction. And then if there you might have seen, okay, if the this truck having the truck always moves, okay, these heavy trucks, the loaded heavy trucks, they have how many wheels you have seen? Simple, these vehicles like a four-wheeler car, they have only 4 wheels, but these heavy trucks, they have how many wheels? Have you observed? They have almost 8 to 10 wheels. And if they are moving like this, okay, they have, so if they have heavy loads, okay, if this is the road, the force is applied perpendicular to this, isn't it? Perpendicular on the road. So they if they carry big heavy loads in the truck, they have how many? Almost 8 wheels. So it is easy to, if this some number of wheels will decreases the pressure, and they have the wide wooden plank to carry the loads. So the force is applied perpendicular to it. So that is why they have many number of wheels in the truck. Compared to car, simple vehicles, they does not require so many wheels in them, because these carry big amount of loads. That is why they have many number of wheels. So this surface area decreases the pressure on them. So how the force is, how the pressure is applied? The pressure is applied perpendicular to the road. Pressure is applied perpendicular to the road surface. Got it? And whenever you feel it is very difficult to walk in the sandy, okay, very difficult to walk in beach, the sand, we can't walk on the sand, okay. What is the reason? Because our leg is not, our leg structure is not meant to walk on the beach or in the desert, but camel easily walk in the desert. So what is the reason? Because they have the wide feet, okay, they have the very wide padded feet, they have the very wide padded feet. That is why their leg is meant to walk on the desert. So these are pressure. So how these what is common in these things? Here in all these cases, the force is applied by pushing, or by here also pushing, and in this case lifting, force is applied. And in which direction? The force is applied perpendicular to the surface. So this force applied perpendicular to the surface is nothing but it is a pressure. So this is nothing but pressure. Now let us discuss what is pressure. Pressure can be defined as the force acting on a unit area of a surface. So pressure is equal to force divided by unit area. Pressure is nothing but it is a force per unit area. And as I said, as the surface area decreases, pressure increases. As the surface area increases, see this side, surface area is little wider. Surface area increases, the pressure decreases. And here surface area is little less, so pressure increases. So what is pressure? Pressure is equal to, pressure is nothing but it is the force, okay, force per unit area. And one more example I will give. If you hold this book, in order to understand the pressure, if you hold the book like this, you feel little comfortable. You don't feel so much heavy, okay, this book. You don't feel too much pressure when you hold like this, okay, using your palm. And if you hold like this, can you hold? Because it is difficult. Why? So much pressure is applied on your palm. So in one direction, this surface area is less, so you find it difficult to hold the book like this. If you hold, you feel comfortable to carry. So that is nothing but pressure. So pressure, this area is inversely proportional to this pressure. As the area increases, if this increases, this will decreases. If the area increases, the pressure will decrease. And as the area decreases, area decreases, the pressure increases. Got it? And when you sprinkle the water using the water pipe, what happens? As the if you widen the area, the pressure decreases. And if you narrow the area, if you hold it like this, if you narrow the area, it will reach long distance. So you can sprinkle to the faraway garden plants. So that is the applications of this pressure. All these liquids and gases, they will pressure on the walls of the container. Now let us discuss through the activity how these liquids and gases exerts pressure on its wall.
Pressure exerted by the liquids and gases. Pressure exerted by a liquid at the bottom of the container depends on the height of its column. A liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container. Liquids exert equal pressure at the same depth. Now, let us understand all these points about the pressure exerted by the liquids with some experiments. Now take a transparent plastic pipe and place a rubber balloon and stretch the rubber sheet tightly over one end of the pipe. Now hold the plastic pipe vertically so that the rubber balloon is towards the bottom and pour some water into the pipe. We observe the bulge in the rubber balloon. Now pour some more water in the plastic pipe. Now we can observe that the rubber balloon bulges further and becomes more wide. By this experiment, we can understand that the pressure exerted by water at the bottom of the container depends on the height of its column.
In this activity, what you have observed, whenever you added little more amount of water, as a increase in the size of the level of water, there you can see the bulge in the rubber balloon. So as the level of water increases, the pressure level increases. There is increase in the pressure. So liquid exerts the pressure on the balloon.
Now let us do another activity. Now take a plastic bottle and take a glass tube and heat it slightly and insert it near the bottom of the bottle. If there is any leakage, seal it with molten wax and place a good quality rubber balloon towards the other end of the glass tube. Now fill the bottle completely with water and you can observe the bulge in the rubber balloon. This shows that a liquid exerts pressure on the walls of the container.
In this activity also, the bottle filled with water exerts the pressure on the wall of the container. So the bulb will bulge.
Now take a plastic bottle and drill 3 holes all around near the bottom of the bottle at the same height. Now fill the bottle with water. We can observe the water coming out from all the 3 holes with the same speed. This demonstrates that liquids exert equal pressure at the same depth.
In this activity, we have attached one glass tube, okay, to the side of the bottle, okay, and we connected one balloon. So this bottle, the walls of the this water will exert the pressure on the walls of the water bottle. So this balloon bulged. So we can from this activity we can conclude that this water also exerts the pressure on the wall of the container. And also you might have seen the fountain of water coming out in the leakage pipe and all. So whenever there is leakage, what happens, we all know the pressure will exerted on the wall. The water will exert the pressure on the wall. So whenever there is leakage, this water will make use of this opportunity and they will come out of the pipe. So we can observe the fountain of water coming out of the pipe whenever there is leakage and all. Or when you cover the mouth of the pipe, what happens? The water, you feel the pressure exerted on your finger. When you hold the pipe, you feel the pressure exerted on the finger. So we can from this all activity we can conclude that the water will exert the pressure.
Gases also exert pressure on the walls of the container. We understand it better with an activity. Take a balloon and inflate air in it. We generally tie the mount to avoid the escape of gas from it. If we do not tie the mount, the air will escape from the balloon. We cannot inflate a rubber balloon with holes as the air escapes from the holes. Thus, we can conclude that gases also exert pressure on the walls of the container.
Similarly, the gas particles also exerts the pressure on the wall. If you observe the pressure cooker, so when the pressure increases, as you keep on increase the temperature of the pressure cooker, it increases the pressure, and at a particular time, at one point, they will blow away, they will burst out. So we can hear the cooker whistle. So the pressure will come out of that tiny hole. From these all examples we can make out the pressure will exerted on the wall of the container. Or if we blow the balloon if we don't tie the mouth of the balloon, what happens? All the air will come out. It will not remain. The air will not remain in the balloon because the air will exert the pressure on all the sides of the container, in all the sides. So there is no proper direction for the movement of these gas particles. So it will exert the pressure on all sides of the balloon. So we tie the mouth of the balloon, and if there is a single minute hole also, if there is any tiny pores also, what happens? The air will not remain in the balloon. It will burst out. And if it will burst out in all direction. From all these examples, activities, we can make out that the pressure will exerted in all direction by the liquid or by the gases.
Now let us learn about atmospheric pressure. As we all know, air is present all around us. This envelope of air is known as the atmosphere. The atmospheric air extends up to many kilometers above the surface of the earth. The pressure exerted by this air is known as atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is the weight of air in a column of unit area. When you press the rubber sucker against a flat surface, most of the air between its cup and surface escapes out. The sucker sticks to the surface because of the pressure of atmosphere acting on it. To pull the sucker off the surface, the applied force should be large enough to overcome the atmospheric pressure. In fact, it would not be possible for any human being to pull the sucker off the surface if there was no air at all between the sucker and the surface.
Also in the atmosphere also we can see the air pressure is there, atmospheric pressure. So what is this atmospheric pressure? Before that, what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is nothing but the surrounding air. Okay, we breathe the air around us. It is not the vacuum chamber. Around us air particles are present, air is there. So our earth is covered with a thin layer of blanket of air, that we call it as atmosphere. So I can define and write what is atmosphere. The envelope of air around the earth is known as the atmosphere. We can observe the movement of air particles. Okay, whenever the wind breeze, we can feel the air particles. Okay, whenever there is movement of the plants, so that is due to the wind breeze. They exert the pressure on the from upper to lower, from top to ground. So the pressure is exerted from above, from high altitude to the ground. So these air particles contribute high pressure at this altitude. And there is also difference in this air pressure. If you are in hilly area, the air pressure is less, and if you are in a very valley area, the air pressure is less. As you reach the so around ground, us air pressure will become more. Pressure is present, and whenever there is a difference in this atmospheric pressure, that causes the cyclone, storm and all. So they will exert large amount of pressure. They have the ability to take away all the things. Okay, all the sometimes this cyclone causes very dangerously. So that so this atmospheric the difference in air pressure the difference in air pressure is the reason for all these cyclones and all, tsunami, cyclone, everything. So the pressure exerted by the air is nothing but the atmospheric pressure. So I can define and write what is atmospheric pressure. The pressure exerted by the air on the surface of the earth is known as the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is nothing but it is air pressure only. Pressure exerted by the air. Either we call it as air pressure or it is known as atmospheric pressure. And also if I have this, okay, imagine if there is one glass tube, okay, narrow glass tube, and if I keep it open, this empty space will have the, whenever the things are empty, when it is open, it have the air particles, so they exert the atmospheric pressure. So this cylinder having the atmospheric pressure in this atmospheric pressure is equal to the gravitational force. So the gravitational force also acts on this atmospheric pressure. In this cylinder, the force of gravity on the air in this cylinder is the atmospheric pressure. The force of gravity on the air is equal to the atmospheric pressure. Both are in equal amount. If I have the sucker, okay, rubber sucker, how do you attach? You will attach like this, okay, you will attach. What happens? It will be stick to the surface. What happens when it will stick to the surface? When it will stick to the surface, the air will escape out. Inside the air will escape out, okay. Inside this area, the air will be escaped out from the rubber sucker. So it will stick to the surface, and how it will stick, and also there is it will stick and it will stay there. So the reason is also there is when we stick like this, the inside air will go away and there is push of the atmospheric pressure. That is why it will be stay in that position only. So the atmospheric pressure will be hitting on the walls of this rubber sucker. So it will remain there. And sometimes you find it difficult to remove that rubber sucker once it attached to the surface. The reason is so much atmospheric pressure is applied on the rubber sucker. That is why. And you have to apply little more force to remove that rubber sucker. The reason is whenever that atmospheric pressure, whenever you overcome the force applied by this atmospheric, you are able to remove that rubber sucker. You have to apply little more amount of force, then only you are able to remove that rubber sucker. That is the reason. So once you think what so you are applying some amount of force, so you came to know that this atmospheric pressure have certain amount of magnitude. It have the some quantity, okay. We can measure that atmospheric pressure like that. So imagine if there is no, okay, if the whenever we attach this rubber sucker, little amount of air will be there. That is why the little amount of air will be there. And consider if it is vacuum, what happens to the, if it is vacuum, what happens to the will you able to remove this rubber sucker once it is attached to the vacuum? Is it possible to remove this? If it is vacuum, it is nobody will able to remove that rubber sucker from that. So imagine how large this atmospheric pressure is. So we can't imagine the quantity, we can't measure the magnitude of this atmospheric pressure. So it plays in all the direction. It has the large quantity. We can't imagine the quantity of this atmospheric pressure. So wherever you go, it covered around thousands of kilometers, okay. If you go to nearby sea or if you go to near the hill, you feel that atmospheric pressure, high breeze, you feel that is nothing but atmospheric pressure. And also this atmospheric pressure will cause the storms, cyclones, tsunami, etc. and all. So and also if we are standing, if I hold one cylinder like this, okay, if I hold this cylinder like this, and if I keep one empty cylinder, that exerts that cylinder have the atmospheric pressure, and but nothing will happen to us. So what is the reason? We will not be crushed by this atmospheric pressure. What is the reason? Because we have this atmospheric pressure. This, if I consider this, the length of this cylinder 15 centimeter into 15 centimeter, okay, the total air atmospheric pressure is equal to equal to 15 into 15, that is equal to 225 Newton, okay. This pressure is nothing but it is a force, okay. So pressure is equal to Pressure is equal to force by area. Here the area is 15 into 15, that is 225. This atmospheric pressure is equal to 225 Newton. This much, 225 kg or 225 Newton. But we will not be crushed by this much amount of force on us, because our body also exerts a pressure on this. If I hold this cylinder, so we will not be crushed by this much amount of pressure on us. The reason is our body also exerts equal amount of pressure on the object. So it will be balanced. So we don't feel heavy. We don't feel the burden if we hold one cylinder like this. Okay, in this chapter we have studied about the force and the effects of force and types of force, and next concept is pressure. In pressure, what is pressure, and what is the effects of pressure on the object, and how this liquid and gas exerts the pressure on the wall of the container, and what is atmospheric pressure. We have studied about this much things. Thank you, students.